Peace, 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 peace. What's poppin', my weebles? It's your boy, Sincere Seven, coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, Sacramento, California edition. Representing the House of Genesis. Yeah, so I'm feeling good today, doing my little cushion coffee. What's poppin', my weebles? Yeah, man, this your boy, man. I done got me a nice little night of rest. I had a good night last night. Doing a lecture at the Radiant Light Healing Center off in Sacramento. Oh, I love it there. I love it here. I'm at my beautiful little trail in the back right now. This how I get my morning in. You know what I'm saying? We walk the trail. You know what I'm saying? It's a waterfall down there. Just a whole little beautiful scene. It's a beautiful thing, man. So I just wanted to tap in this morning and talk about a little something that came through a conversation I was having the other day. And I'm like, I am happy that the knowledge of the psilocybin mushrooms is starting to come back to our community and our society. Um, I'm pleased that the Creme Nature is hard at work everywhere, trying to take away the legal challenges for people who are trying to practice their spiritual connections and works and different things like that. Um, I'm happy that the entheogenic explosion of 2020 has brought a lot of attention, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and attention. I said that already, to entheogens as a whole. But what I'm worried about is that people are not approaching the utilization of the medium or modality with a informational point. I always like to point out that there is a difference between knowledge and information. For a while, I used to move with a group and I used to represent as an individual who was proud of the amounts of knowledge that I had. But within time and wisdom, I came to realize that knowledge is not as important nor as efficient as information is. And to be proud to have a lot of knowledge is an egotistical and ignorant thing. Because all you do is you just know a bunch of shit. You just know a bunch of things. It could be useless or useful. It doesn't matter because you just know. But information is different than knowledge. Information is having the knowledge that a person needs in a form that they can put into action. That's the difference between knowledge and information. Knowledge is a bunch of shit. Just that this kind of bird has three hearts. You know that this kind of cloud does this. All right. What can I do with that knowledge that you just gave? Absolutely nothing. Knowing that octopus has a brain in each one of its arms and it can take the last arm and turn it to a dick and throw it at the woman octopus and impregnate her is interesting, is like to know, but can I do anything with it? No. So it's not information. Now, if I was an octopus breeder, then that might be information or the beginning of information. But so that's what I'm saying, right? So when we're talking about mushrooms and we're talking about all of these people, including, my peoples and all of these communities who are now utilizing the mushrooms and the ayahuasca and all of this, I want to make it very clear that's not the work, y'all. Doing mushrooms is not doing the work. Hmm? So I'm explaining this. If you've known me for a while, you might have heard this. But who remembers the old show Mission Impossible? It was a show, and then they turned it into, yeah, and then they turned it into a movie, yeah. But it used to be a TV show. And in the show, it would come on, and the guy would just be somewhere like, oh, I'm out at the beach, and I walk up to the tiki bar. Yeah, let me get a margarita. And then he turns around and walks off. And when I turn back around, there's a computer sitting in front of me. And I press the button, and it says, your mission, should you choose to accept. It always started like that. Your mission, should you choose to accept. And then it explains this crazy situation that's going on and what needs to be done to alleviate it. And it's even crazier. It's impossible, but it's your mission, should you choose to accept. Then after he watches it, it says this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. The guy brings him his drink. He grabs a drink. Thank you. Turns around, walks off. And as he's walking off, the motherfucking computer start burning up, and everybody starts running. And he puts his glasses on, like he's cool. And then it cuts to a commercial. That is the intro to the show every time, and that is the mushroom trip. That's it. It informs you of what the impossible mission is. That's your mission, should you choose to accept. When it says this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds, that's the representation of you coming out of the trip. Like, you have to learn how to be able to retain all the information that's being given to you, so when you come out of the trip, you can recall it. You can remember what you've seen, what was said, what language, what whatever it might be. And these things are practices that you do using oneiriogens, but that's a whole nother subject. So when the message this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds, that's you coming up out of the mushroom trip. Like, when you, all of y'all who've been in it, you know, when you come out, you just received goddamn 50 to 100 years of information, and you can only remember a couple weeks of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it means. It's like you have to learn to keep all of it when it's giving it to you. This is a practice. Meditation, lucid traveling, lucid dreaming, astral traveling, different things like that. These practices help you to recall and retain. This is a practice so that you can use it when you go to the different realms. So the Mission Impossible, that is the mushroom trip. Now, when the show comes back on, this is the individual getting ready to accomplish the impossible mission that he was given. He's saying, I accept. Once he does that, boom, he's completed that mission. He's open for another one. I was talking to a individual, and they came over, and we were talking about, what type of modalities they were looking for at that time. And they was like, I really want to do that. I really want to do some mushrooms, but ooh, they dragged my ass last time I went. And I said, well, no two trips are the same. So if you got dragged last time, that's kind of like a good thing, because you got it out. And she said, well, they told me some shit that I need to do. And then I looked and I said, did you do it? She was like, nah, not yet. And I was like, yeah, you probably don't want to go in on the mushrooms then. And see, that's the part that some of you all who might approach using the mushrooms from a recreational point of view. And let me be clear, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't, not like, oh man, why y'all using mushrooms for recreation? It's for spiritual. Like, come on, like, I'm not like that, right? But I just speaking on the differences in how people use them. Me, being there and for, with, and giving to a lot of different individuals, we have discussions. And so I'm aware of the different things that people use them for, right? So when she say she went in on her 7-gram journey and they dragged her and gave her instructions on what she was supposed to do, she got her mission. She did not accept that mission. So now to go back in, you're either going to be dragged back through or given another mission. Because if you didn't accomplish that mission, that means that there's something within your character that needs to be handled before you can get to that stage of growth and development. It's kind of like when you young and your parents will give you tests. Like they'll put something somewhere or they'll do something and it'll test you. And if you respond the right way, you go to the next level. But if not, you got to go back a level because you didn't even tell the truth to be able to get through there. So now we got to take you back to the rites of passage of honesty. And this ideal that I'm speaking of is might be absent to a lot of people because rites of passages and initiations we have lost track of. That's why a lot of people are using the mushrooms for recreational, and they don't understand that you're supposed to be passing through certain spiritual tests, so to speak. So when you're using the mushrooms and they're giving you your mission, I invite you to accomplish the mission. Because when you go back, now you're rewarded. Now you're rewarded. Then, as you move forward, if you are in alignment with all that is supposed to be, you will just keep being given more knowledge, more information, more assistance, more of all of that. If you're not in alignment with where you're supposed to be, whenever you're going on the mushrooms, they're going to drag you and tell you what you need to do to get back on point. You understand? That's what I'm saying. So doing the mushrooms, some people think that even, oh yeah, so and so they having mental challenges. So I told them start doing mushrooms. They doing mushrooms? Yeah. Now what they doing? What they doing when they on the mushrooms? There's work you're supposed to be doing. Not supposed to be, but I invite you to do. Just doing mushrooms is not always going to just solve mental issues. There's trauma there. There's misunderstandings there. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they was explaining their idea of love was fucked up by who raised them. And they said they went somewhere with a friend, and when they was there with their friend, they was talking to their mom, and their mama started beating them up and pulling her hair and punching her in the face and scratching her, calling her all types of stupid bitches. And whatever went on, it came to an end, and they continued on with the night. And then the end of the night, they were leaving, and the mom was telling the daughter as they was leaving, so excited you're in Sacramento. I couldn't be there last night, but I would love to work with you soon. Hey, even if you just want to come and just meet the people and come hang out, I'm not sure if we've met yet or not, but I'm here. Um, and thank you. It's an honor. So the girl said when they was leaving, the mom was at the door like, all right, baby, I love you. Be safe. Have, travel safe home. Call me when you get home. And they said they got in the car. And the girl was like, what the fuck was that? She was like, what do you mean? She said, your mother just did all of that to you. Like she treated you like that. And then we get in the car to leave and she tells you, I love you, be safe. And she was like, yeah. And she said she didn't even understand what the girl was saying. And okay, so as the conversation went on, she was explaining that that's why she was into abusive relationships because abuse meant love. Like I had a woman who told me once, you don't hit me. You never hit me. So I know you don't love me. You'd rather leave me than to correct me. Why you ain't just hit me, right? So this is what I mean, right? So taking mushrooms isn't going to just fix that. So what I told these individuals, the next time you take mushrooms, write a letter to love, and then write a letter back to yourself as love. Wait, what? What do you mean, Seven? Listen, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna write a letter from Sincere Seven. Dear love, I am frustrated with you. I don't understand you. I feel like you are not reciprocal. I do things to show you I see you. I do things to show you I appreciate you. And you take, and then you, okay, and I write a whole letter to love from me. And then as I'm on mushrooms, I tell myself, now I'm gonna be love. And I take the letter and looking at it from the point of love, I read the letter to me from this person. And as I'm reading the letter, I'm going to respond to that person. And let me give you an example of what I mean. Dear Sincere, I am appalled, but also excited. I'm excited because now I can see where the misunderstanding is and why we haven't been able to have a good relationship is because you've never recognized me or seen me for who I am. What makes you think that when you felt abused, that was me? What makes you think when you was abandoned, that was me? You don't know who I am. You don't know who I make you feel. You don't know what love is. You don't know that love is actually support. Love is actually care. You don't know who I am. You're talking about you invest in me, but you don't. You invest in need, looking for me. You invest in people who lack things, who have been damaged, who have been hurt, and you give them the things that you should give to me. The whole time I'm sitting behind them, looking at you, wondering why you're feeding into them that way. And then when they take those things from you and leave, you blame me, even though you never even looked at me. Do you know who I am, Seven? You have a fucked up way of looking at me because your mother abandoned you, Seven. Because your father put you in this situation, Seven, because this happened to you and this happened to you. And so that makes you think that this is this and that is me. And it's not. And I'm appalled that you're sitting here talking to me as if I've been and abandoned you when I've been sitting next to you the whole time and you've not once looked at me because you felt like if you look at people who need you, then they will turn into me. They're not going to turn into love because they needed, nobody was there, they was hurt, they was abused, they was by themselves, and you came along and started being the captain, save them. And now you think that they're just going to fall in love with you. They're not. They're going to fall in dependency with you. And when you feel like they're not giving you me love because they can't, because they don't know what it is, then you're going to start taking things back. You're going to start not doing things. You're going to stop doing things because you're now complaining. And those people are going to find somebody else to depend on. And you're going to say, love turned its back on you. Motherfucker, I was never there. But as I said in the beginning of his letter, I'm also excited that now you have finally spoken directly to me. Not to need, not to fear, not to trauma, but to me, and allow me to speak back to you. And I ask you that in the future, you see things for who they are. See trauma for what it is. See need for what it is. See dependency for what it is. See deceit for what it is. So that way, when you see me, when you see love, when I show up, you will recognize me, Seven. And you'll pour into me the way you've poured into trauma, dependency, and all of these other things. Then maybe we can have the relationship that you say that you want with me. So until then, I bid you well, and I hope to see you soon. Love, love. That's what you do when you on the mushrooms. That's the type of work you do. Both hemispheres of your brain are literally acting at the same time. Your neurogenesis, your ability to actually implant new core thoughts into your consciousness is fully open. You need to be doing work when you're on the mushrooms. The mushrooms will reveal things to you. You either next time you're doing the mushrooms, you're doing work while you're on them. That's what the lower doses is for. I can go in on 2 grams and do some mirror magic. I can go in on 3.5 and do some shadow work. I can go in on a gram and have a conversation with love. You understand what I'm saying? So I just wanted to give that to y'all because I be talking to people and they be telling me they told people to do mushrooms because of this and that and this and that. And it's like, all right, and then you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not a lot of information being given. There's a lot of knowledge, and I'm not knocking nobody because this is new to a lot of people in the community. I've been dealing with it for over 20 years, and I've been dealing with my community. And so I know that in our community, it's a little bit more prevalent. Baba Kalende has been there for years before me. Baba Mudu was there for years before me. I kind of just, you know what I'm saying, walked right into the same. And so with that being said, it's a lot of places that have not been utilizing them with a certain protocol. It's the protocol I'm talking about, y'all. It's the protocol that brings out the gifts, the abilities, the visions. It's certain way. Like, it's not a rule to this stuff. You can do what you want. You can pop you 2-3 grams and go to a concert, go see Blue Man in Vegas. That's cool. I'm not bugging on that. But I run the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. I am here to assist people with their spiritual guidance and walks, with their mental, with their emotional, with their traumas. So I'm talking about for people who are actually trying to work through things, trying to find freedom, trying to improve their quality of life. I can't sleep because I can't get these thoughts and these feelings and emotions. I had PTSD. I know what I'm talking about. I know what y'all going through. And I took 7 grams, and it cured my PTSD immediately. I'm telling y'all the truth. And since then, yo, I've just been growing and developing and making connections ancestrally, and making connections. Um, what's that realm? Not there. But my security clearances have basically raised, and I've been able to connect and to a lot of flow in my spiritual understanding. And when you find that flow, when you find that understanding within your spiritual self, it just blessings the material. It's like when you work for your soul protects your body, your character, your physical. You know, all of the things that I've achieved and where I've been and being on TV and the news, all that, this ain't like something I went to achieve or something that I strive to do or anything like that. It's literally because I have continued to strive to work at my spiritual self. I ain't been out trying to make a bunch of money and trying to get nice cars and trying to, no, I've been trying to improve my character and connect with my soul and figure out what my mission here is. And a lot of that I've been able to do because of utilizing the mushrooms. But I didn't do them and listen to music. I didn't do them and go to concerts. I did them, and I laid down in a dark room. Like, I didn't start doing anything outside of my protocol until 4 or 5 years ago when the entheogenic explosion happened and everybody started doing all this different stuff. And I'm like, what? And they're telling me they took them and went and got in lake, and they took them and they went in the cemetery. They took them and they went. And I'm like, oh my goodness, y'all are really. And I ain't tripping, but I'm saying, for 15, 20 years, every single trip, I take 7 or more grams. I go in the dark room, I lay down, and I receive my spiritual what information flow. I'm taking these different dimensions, and so now, taking them and going out in nature, taking them and getting in water, I'm seeing how you all are using them in different ways. That's why I'm saying that I'm not saying there's a right and a wrong way, but I am saying that if you are trying to work with them to improve your spiritual PTSD, traumas, all of these types of things, I invite you to actually work with them, work with to get a relationship with the mushrooms, or with the ayahuasca, or with the cat, whatever it is. Pick one, gain a relationship repeatedly. If you ain't went in 3 times, you ain't even familiar yet. You get introduced, then you get familiar, and then that last one is like initiation. After that, then you can have the idea that I'm comfortable here. Your your third 7 gram trip is when you are initiated. Your first one is the introduction. Boom, here it is. The second one is the familiarization. The introduction is so like, what in the fuck, that's how you feel. Like, you're trying to understand what in the fuck. And we're like, yeah, we know. Go ahead, take your time. Don't worry about it. Just sit there and keep looking around and keep understanding and keep, right? The second time you go in on your 7 grams, it's familiarization. You come in and you're like, wow, okay, this happens every time. Okay, so I see this is different, but wow, okay, so this now you're like, okay, I'm familiar with this realm. Because the first time you don't know what's repeatedly what happens every time, or what's just something that's right. You follow what I'm saying? The third time is the initiation. What do you mean the initiation? The third time, you came the first time and the wow, what the fuck factor is gone. The second time is like, okay, the familiarization, and you're still kind of in awe. The third time, it's like when you go to somebody's house. Man, you've been here 3 times. You ain't no guest no more. You know where the fridge is. Get your own drink. You initiate it. You boom. So now when you go in after that, you're going to be able to retain a lot more. You're going to be able to recall. You're going to be able to navigate those spaces. A lot of people don't never even get to the fourth one. The first one is so epic that they feel like, oh, I never have to do it again. I've seen everything I need to see. It is like, all right, if you say so, right? But when you get to that fourth one, it's kind of like, all right, you came to the school for the first time, you seen it. All right, then you came to fill out the paperwork the second time. Like, okay, I'm applying for the school. The third time you came was orientation. You part of the school now. The fourth time you come, you a student. You a student. It's time to work. It's the same thing in those realms. The fourth time you pop down on that 7 gram, boom, you in there now. And now you go to work, right? Now you see it for yourself. And so now you'll understand. So now that's what I'm saying. So as I walked on into the future from that, as I would take the mushrooms, when I would go in, it would just give me more, bless with me with more things, or because I was doing spiritual works. I'm doing what it's inspecting and telling me to do. I'm telling the people the messages that it's telling me to tell. I'm being obedient to spirit. So every time I go in, I was just blessed with something more. But if I'm falling off, if I'm slacking, if I'm doing things that's outside of self, and then when I go in, it's gonna drag my ass. You know better. There's no such thing as a bad trip. You know what I'm saying? It's just revealing, and you don't like it as much as the ones when you're blessed, giving gifts, giving abilities, right? And as you move on and you continue becoming better and better, then you become blessed more and more. Your boom goes up. You know what I'm saying? Your chi and all of that, your connection with the planet. And then there's a magnetism that comes. Then whatever it is that you want, or that you think about, or that you desire, it just comes to you. You don't have to go seek it out. It literally comes to you because you become magnetic like the planet Earth. Because that's really the goal, is to mimic the planet Earth. That's what we're here to do, to be one with the planet Earth, to support the ecosystem. And that's why the more we do the entheogens, the more connection we have to her. The more connection we have to her, the more magnetic we become. This is why we walk barefooted, to ground ourselves into the energetic flow of her and become one with the magnetic poles of her. So then as we do that, we become magnetic. This is why they put rubber on your shoes. What happens when we take one piece of metal that's not magnetic and rub it a piece against the metal that is magnetic over and over and over? It creates the one that was not magnetic to now be magnetic. Same thing with the planet. A lot of y'all not magnetic. You keep shoes on your feet. You never ever are grounding with the earth. And so it stops your actual magnetic connection with the earth. It's not the same as hers because she's not connected to you. So when you're doing these works, you're doing these entheogens, and you're planting yourself into the actual earth, now you gain her magnetic poles. And so the things that you desire in your mind, because remember, your mind is clear now. The Kriya Yoga that I practice, it talks about everything from my thoughts, my words, my actions. Like everything has to be clean. But when it is, and now you have that magnetic connection, anything you desire, the universe gives the earth whatever she desires. So whatever we desires, it just comes to you. It just comes to you. Trust me when I tell you, you don't have to do anything except stay righteous, stay on your path, and do the works that's instructed of you. And by do the works, what do I mean? I've been instructed to do things like have a conversation with my mom. I've tried to have a conversation with my mom at least 7 times while I was growing up, 20s, 30s, 40s. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, 30s. It wasn't until I was like 40 when I actually had that conversation. But I didn't want to do it. But I had to be obedient. What other types of things? Going to different places. Someone's telling you to go somewhere. You know, I don't want to go. Man, hey, all right, let me just go. Boom. You meet somebody and changes your life. Not going places that you want to go. Oh no, I'm about to go. Oh, man, man, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and you go. And what happened? You got in an accident, place got shot up, you know what I'm saying? While you was gone, somebody, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, right? So you have to learn how to tap into spirit and then learn to be obedient with spirit. And this is another thing, before I close, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this to a close soon. Dealing with the mushrooms. Um, Being obedient to spirit, right? Yeah, being obedient. Um, it was part of the being obedient to spirit, going to places, not going to places, places that you want to go to, connecting with spirit. Okay, that's the other part. Connecting with spirit. The way to connect with spirit, or what I think that a lot of people are doing is, okay, if I tell you that there is a financial advisor, Warren Buffett, every single person that he has talked to, sat down for 30 minutes and talked to, within 90 days of that conversation, those people become millionaires. That person is coming to the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, and I have 3 spaces for people to sit. So we got 3 30-minute segments. And you who've been sitting there, you've been chosen. You's listening right now. You're chosen to be one of these people who sit for 30 minutes and listen to this individual, and they're going to talk to you. And 90 days later, we're going to see where you're at. When that person comes and you sit down and that person starts talking, are you going to put on some music? Are you going to put on a headset? Are you going to put on a movie? You put the Smurfs on, put on the Matrix. This is how I be feeling when people are telling me what they're doing when they go in on mushrooms. I'm like, you put on whose album? Why? Like, what? There was no reason to be listening. I'm not. See, so that's what I'm saying. I invite you all. Now, let me be clear. You can use recreational, spiritual, and other ways. You can do both. I'm speaking about for spiritual works. I keep reiterating this. So even if you're doing spiritual works and then sometimes you do some grams for recreational, that's cool. But when you're doing spiritual works, when you're trying to find answers, when you're trying to solve or anything like that, don't put on music. Don't put on movies. And don't have nobody else around you. Go in a room, turn off all the lights, all the TVs, no candles, no nothing. No music. Take your sacrament, lay down in the bed, in the dark room, on the floor, on a yoga mat. Just lay down with nothing and listen to the messages that are being given to you. That's all you have to do. Okay? That's it. You from there, you this is your mission should you choose to accept. Pay attention. That's why a lot of y'all can't recall, because your consciousness is listening to the music too. And it's tapping into the person who's singing. I feel like that's one of the worst things that you could do is listen to music that has singing in it while you are in those spaces. Now, if there's a shaman singing and this shaman has a lineage and Icaros and all of that, that's different. Outside of that, right? Especially in the mushroom trips. I don't even feel like nobody should be next to you because they are going to alter your trip. And if you're trying to go in and get a spirit, like if I have 30 minutes to sit and listen to this individual talk, and 90 days later I could become a millionaire by listening to what they're saying, I don't want you sitting next to me unless you are part of this. But if not, if we're on like a video chat and I'm listening, you're not sitting next to me. There were 3 slots. You're not in it. I'm in that room by myself. And that's why I be looking like, yo, this is a spiritual experience. If you want to talk to God, why you got somebody sitting next to you disturbing you? They over here laughing, they giggling, they talking. This is not spiritual work. This is recreation. We getting together and doing mushrooms. I'm gonna do spiritual work with other people. You might have some demons you need to get rid of. And you do. But my portal's wide open. So if I ain't put my proper protections up, which a lot of y'all don't know how to do, your little issues can hop right out your ass and right into me. Yeah, did y'all not know that? Think about that. When people be doing exorcisms and they be bringing these different spirits and these different energies out of themselves and don't know where to put them, where to place them, how to move them. You're doing this indoors. You're not by water. Now what do? Uh-oh. It's like Ghostbusters. Yeah, like when I do my works, there's certain things. So even if I had to go somewhere else, there's certain things that must go with me because I'm in there too. So when that come out of you, where is it going? So I got certain things to absorb, to pull in, to reflect, to push back. All of this, right? So it's you know what I'm saying. Brother Dooley was dropping the other day. Brother Dooley, shout out to him. He was dropping the other day, like as a psychic surgeon, which he is. I'm not. That when he's doing his works, it's certain angles that he's standing at. Boom. As he's hitting you with whatever he hitting you, and you coming, it's kind of like if you firing off a gun, boom, them shells is coming out the side of that joint. And so if you holding it like this, them shells are coming out. That mother gonna land on arm, you gonna get burned, you gonna get to doing all of this. That ain't wise. You gotta know how to stand, hold, boop, boop, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it might be, right? And it's the same thing in them spiritual realms with a lot of the different works. So doing these mushrooms in these high gram dosages and in the rooms with other people, um you know, yeah, just, you know, a lot of people do a lot of different things. One thing, I don't do a whole lot of different things with a lot of different people in a lot of different rooms and a lot of different portals. um and so those are the different ideas I'm talking about. If you're doing it for spiritual works, um I invite you to work by yourself. Nobody else needs to be around you when you're doing that. Because some of the messages are not gonna come to you because they're private, you know? So it's I just want y'all to just think about, your spiritual hygiene and your works, you know what I'm saying? How you approach them. You know, it's not nothing wrong, but can it be better? And what are you trying to achieve by those works? Hold on, let me tap in, make sure ain't no questions, comments, concerns on anything. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I don't know why I was moved to go through that. You know what I'm saying? But I was sparked to just share that with y'all. So I appreciate y'all tapping in. All right, let me see what's going on. Mushrooms reveal the works that need to be done. Here we go. It's a couple comments. Facts. Good counsel. Say that again. Big facts and folks like to touch. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Alice. Hey, y'all. Stop touching. Stop touching people in these spaces. I cannot say this enough. I can't say this enough. Because there is a entheogenic explosion. A lot of people have been introduced to the mushrooms. A lot of people are gatekeeping and guiding and doing a lot of things. And a lot of people have not had proper training, or, brought through any type of protocols. And so a lot of people are just approaching things the way they feel, and that's okay if that's how you want to do things. But please, by all means, if you don't mind, just take some advice from people who, been taught, been led, been in these things for a long time and have seen a lot of things and have gathered a lot of information that can be given, that if you just take those and implement them, you can take yourself a step further real quick. Save yourself some time. Stop touching people in these spaces. I don't know what it is about this whole I am the medicine movement and how all of these practitioners feel like they have to be involved. in all of these things. Like, I have been being told stories that are just disappointing to me. Because there's a misrepresentation that's starting to happen within these communities. And now I'm understanding what people were speaking about with the Maria Sabina. And when things start to become known and everybody starts to do it, it starts to bring a ickiness to it. It's supposed to be sacred. And now there's a lot of ickiness, a lot of nastiness in the community, in the works, in the approaches. And so with that, there's just a lot of just new shit. And people are taking people into these medicines, mushrooms, ayahuasca, cactus, bufo, and they're opening up gates on them and giving them snake venom. They're doing different works on them. And I mean, if that's what you're going for, cool. But if you're the medicine, then why put them on the mushrooms and then do it? Like, why not just do it? Like, and so it's bringing about a lot of things that are happening because a lot of people are not aware of the spaces that are being opened up within people's vessels and spiritual bodies when they're on these entheogens. And then they start to manipulate these people's bodies, literally, physically, in different ways, not knowing that they're manipulating these people's spiritual bodies. People are being spiritually molested out here and impregnated with fear, impregnated with shame, impregnated with, yeah, you understand? Yeah. Y'all hearing how I'm saying that? And let me be very clear. A lot of these people that are doing it are not doing it on purpose. They don't have an understanding of the full capacity of what's happening. Some people think things sound cool. Well, what if we did this? Let's do this. That sounds cool. Okay. All right. Does it? Did we look at all of the aspects of it? You know what I'm saying? Do we know the safety and the protocol of it? Do we know why and where we would even need safety or protocol? So it's a lot of experimentation that's taking place with these entheogens because, oh, they're safe. Oh, because all of these different things. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of this experimentation is causing a lot of spiritual, mental, and emotional anguish and diseasement in people. Spiritual diseasement, like a physical disease. You're out of ease. I'm waking up, having nightmares. I'm hearing voices. I'm going through, like, man, the things that I've heard. And then when I'm asking people, well, I was going through this, so I did this to do this. And then this person, well, oh, you, okay. So that was cool. So how was that? Well, when I did it, they did this, they did that. Wait, what? While you were on it, they did? Yeah. Oh, no wonder you. Just be careful out there, y'all. Just be careful. Because at this point, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm not. Um, I've gotten out of the OTT, the oppression trap triangle. I am not the victor of the community. I'm not here to make sure that all things remain sacred and that all liars are exposed and all thieves are. And no, I'm not. Not no more. I sit and I watch and I listen and I be like, mind your business. I mind my business now. I mind my business, and I'm a lot more successful since, because nobody ever appreciated anybody exposing anything. People will still deal with people, still get, taking money from them, still whatever experiences. So I've learned to mind my business. But be careful, y'all. Be careful. And if you want some assistance, if you have questions, comments, concerns about how to operate with gaining spiritual security clearance, with actually creating a spiritual connection, with, dealing with traumas, dramas, things in your life, I have started to focus mainly on my medicine man works because those people really appreciate me. But when it comes to the shamanic work and dealing with the medicines and helping people, I'm still here. And I'm still willing to assist those who really are willing to walk. So I don't do a lot of um, let's just do something anymore. I work with people and we work through. So that's, if you're not really looking to work through, 90 days at least, then you don't really need to contact me unless you're just looking to get some information on where to experience something. But I've started leaning into just dealing with people who are really working on themselves and are looking to walk with themselves. But for those of you all who are creating your own journey and your own spiritual walk, if you need some assistance, some blue points, some pointers, I'm here. And we can get on a consultation call and I will walk you through it. I'll give you all the information you need. I can give you, whatever advice or invitations that I have. But it is going to be a personal walk. But there are things that on that walk, all of us can kind of, like, what I'm saying? If we had a support group, we all kind of went through that. Right? Now that's yours because that was special because that's your gift. That's your ability. So me, I do time travel. I do, psychosis works, tapping into people's minds. I do magic, things like that. So those would be where my gifts and what I'm experiencing is going to be different than yours because you have your own gifts, your own abilities, um, and things like that. So those things will belong to you. And that's where, when you're going on these trips and you're going on these journeys and they're giving you these things, they're giving you the experiences so that you can see them, so that you can use them. So like that, like it's gonna happen. Trust me when I tell you. So when you're given a gift, they put you in a simulation on this physical realm to where something happens and you respond and you didn't even know you could respond that way, and then you understand. And so it's this is life is dope. I really be like, damn, when I hear people saying shit like, man, I ain't never coming back, and man, I can, I be like, damn, like that's how y'all feel about life. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm enjoying the shit out of this simulation, out of this life, out of this experience. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. But I think it's because I got the cheat codes. I invite y'all, get the cheat codes. You know what I'm saying? Get y'all some infinite lives. Get you some power ups. Get you a shield with a star. Get you some. You know what I'm saying? It ain't hard, y'all. It ain't hard because all you got to do is walk your journey. That's it. Your mission. Should you choose to accept, everything after that is your journey. This message is self-destruct in 5 seconds. So remember it or just live it out. Because if you walking righteously and you steady tapping in spiritually on this planet, and you taking care of the earth, everything else will work itself out. Tell somebody you love them in the language they can understand it in. Peace.